we all believe the same thing about the plant, and we think it can change culture.
The burning weed with its roots in hell. It is
Removing the stigma of education.
The message is out there. The flame is getting hotter.
And we're trying to turn that light on where we are in our community. What does this mean?
The Greenhouse Podcast. I can already see how it's gonna open.
I'm just calling to the wolf goddess to bestow her greatness upon us. How are we doing today? The Greenhouse Podcast is in full swing. I am Patrick Pope. Nice to see all of you.
Hey, I'm Liz Groh.
And I'm Josh Pearl.
And we are united in Texas.
Yes, we are.
Talking about cannabis in our community and Texas, the state, and the world at large. We had our first podcast last week. We had a question already.
Oh,
someone had a question for us already.
The question is...
Who's the question from?
The question is from a fan. Actually, from a fan. He's always been a fan. A friend of
What's
mine
his handle?
for
Give him a shout
about
out.
a decade.
Get him some followers.
I don't think he would appreciate
Oh,
that.
he's the low-key type.
Which is
huh?
why...
He's that under the
Yeah,
cover.
yeah,
You got an
yeah,
office
yeah.
job. He's at an office. He can't just come out like that.
Right.
Yeah, listen, we met each other in tech, okay? One of us survived and got the fuck out.
Wow.
The other one is still kind of, no, it's phenomenal.
All right,
He's a
on
really,
to the
really great
question.
guy. He texted this, Liz, dear Liz. First of all, do y'all answer questions from the audience? Because here's one coming at you. What do I do about the munchies? Basically, he just gets the munchies every time he smokes weed, and he thinks he has a dad bod. So
Hey, dad bods are pretty tight right
yeah,
now. They're in.
Yeah. So but you know
Not
what's
mad
funny?
at
It's
that.
like I laughed about it because I'm like, Jeremy, you're, silly, but it is an issue, right? There are people who don't smoke and who stay away from cannabis because they're afraid of the munchies.
Mm-hmm.
So,
How can you be afraid of the munchies?
Right?
dude, you're afraid of the
real
munchies
issue.
because
Because
it's
you don't want
like,
to pack on the poundage.
well, yeah, and also, if you're using cannabis as a wellness supplement, as part of, trying to live a really healthy lifestyle, I mean, just freaking, taking that bluebell to bed. That ain't a healthy lifestyle.
But it's hard not to.
The
It's
little
fun,
ones,
yeah.
I was referring to the half gallons. Okay, pints are fine.
Pints are okay.
You had it in a headlock. You weren't like this. You were like...
Double-armed headlock.
I wouldn't know anything about munchies. No, but I mean, I thought we'd just kind of go around and talk about how we all deal with that,
Well, let me get the nerd shit out of the way. So, fun fact.
I said fun feeked.
Fun feeked. The cannabinoid THCV is the appetite suppressant cannabinoid. Not readily available on the market, but if you know somebody... Oh,
Slow it down. Sorry.
sorry.
To me like
Sorry.
I'm really dumb.
Okay, so there's a new THC? I know that there are multiple THCs,
Right.
but
So THCV
V.
is the appetite suppressant.
Interesting. And it possesses... And then which one is the one that is the... what's the opposite of suppressant?
The munchie.
The munchie?
Yeah.
THC.
Okay, THC.
THC
Okay,
just
gotcha.
THC.
So it has a balance to it, a
Okay.
counterbalance
Okay.
to it. Interesting.
Yeah.
Nature.
Yeah.
So-
I
That's
want
a
you to
question
eat.
I
I
get
want
all
you
the time,
to be
so.
sparing.
All right, so you get that all the time. So your response to somebody who's like, how do I, smoke and not get the munchies or,
Well,
consume?
it's 9 times out of 10, it's in a joking fashion, right? Will this make me not want to eat? Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Well, if you find the right cannabinoid, you can. So go ahead. Sorry, I don't know where we were at.
No, I was just going to say, there's truth in jest. Like we walk in and we're like, how do I get something that doesn't make me munchy? But another reason people choose cannabis over alcohol are the calories.
Zero calories, zero trans fats.
Thank you. And if you're, consuming in a way that is as healthy and clean as possible, it's really a beautiful thing, So, but again, if it's going to give me the munchies, it doesn't really work with my, lifestyle. You guys probably don't think of that. Jeremy and I are obviously worried about our summer bods. Okay. So for those of you who are also trying to think of this or trying to, solve this problem, my suggestion is trying different strains, right? We went to a class this weekend. So we're professional interpeners, Patrick and I.
Terpeners.
Yeah, well, we got the beginning.
Yeah, we got the beginning, and we'll tell you
so.
all about that. But what's really, I think, crucial is that weed is it's a chemical compound, and it's going to react differently on everyone.
Ultimately, yes.
So keep smoking. Just switch it up. That's my advice for you, J-Bones.
Hopefully, something you guys got to
me.
learn this weekend, and I wasn't there, but the terpenes we're now learning are the actual driving force of the high or of the experience.
Yes.
So trying different strains, different terpene profiles will help you kind of decide what you like. A lot of people like that gas.
Yeah.
A lot of people like the fruit. It just depends what terpene. But understanding that the terpene is the driving force, taking you where you want to go is vital in understanding what you're smoking and why you enjoy it or why you don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
I do find that I do get I get the munchies for sure. Like I fucking have them. Like, I get high. I'm like, let's eat stuff.
Let's eat everything.
And I'm very curious.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty much like a fucking ice cream. I will
Ice cream hound.
I will get down on it. Do you
Yeah, you
guys
will.
have specific things if you get?
I'm lucky in that I'm lactose intolerant, so I can't fucks with the dairy products.
Can't do that.
But
You really are lucky, but then again, your life isn't
no.
as great as mine.
I'm not
Blocks
saying
of
I
cheese.
don't. I just have to be prepared for it.
Right. I feel
yeah.
But I think
yeah.
there's two ways of looking at it. Like Liz said earlier, you're A, have a concern, or B, happy as fuck with your dad bod and rock the shit out of it. Eat what you want.
Yeah,
do what you
man.
want.
Dad bods
man.
are typically accounted with a smile.
Oh,
so.
all day.
All day, yeah. And you could also use cannabis as a little supplement before you work out. So fucking balance it out.
That's true,
for
just
sure.
balance it out.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the best way to combat the munchies is to have them, but also, get high and get motivated.
Yeah,
oh,
dude.
yeah.
A
for
good
sure.
fucking workout, a good
Challenge
run,
yourself. Like really challenge yourself, because when you're high, super high, I used to take massive bong rips and go for runs. And it's like awesome because I'm okay up here and my body's just working. And I actually felt like gratitude for being able to do this, as opposed to like, fuck this motherfucking hill, or whatever.
Right.
And that's where my mind, was for so many years, with working out. It's something that I had to do, that it was, it's part of who I was, where I got through school doing that, running track.
Right.
And, just always very physically like motivated. And when I found weed, it was like, I can enjoy working out, like even the really shitty things.
Right.
Because it's like, you could laugh at how stupid you look doing burpees or whatever.
Makes everything more enjoyable.
Yeah.
That's
You know what I was thinking about? I was watching
Yeah.
the big game, the big Super Bowl game, and they have. Do you think anyone ever has played football high?
I think
done-
most of them are.
100%.
No,
Yeah.
but done like a 50 milligram like bad boy or something, or just gone in on something, gone out and
sure.
played high out of their mind.
Oh,
the
yeah.
NFL, the national.
The MLB, so Major League Baseball, don't give a fuck.
Right.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
Ice Cube's 3-on-3 basketball.
They're not tested.
Hey.
Doesn't give a fuck.
Doesn't
Yeah.
give a fuck. And I want to tell y'all something. The Greenhouse podcast is now,
Uh-oh.
breathe with me. 1 motherfucking degree away from Ice Cube.
Really?
What?
Ow.
I've been counting down the degrees.
Don't jinx it, though.
No,
You can tell them how.
dude,
but
I'm
please don't
not
jinx
jinxing it. It's happened. We are 1 degree of separation away.
Yay.
Because for South by Southwest, the panel that I'm moderating is locked.
Nice.
And one of the panelists is Al Harrington. And he plays on ice cubes. 3 on 3. What? So we're gonna go to Al's 3 on 3.
We gotta get tickets,
acting
yes.
like we don't know. Okay.
Yes.
Are they playing at South by?
No, they're not
Okay.
playing. He's speaking on the panel. I'm just saying, guys. Okay, he's speaking on the panel, so we're in.
Right.
So we're gonna, what's this 3 on 3 thing that I heard about? Maybe pick him up from the airport, talk about 3 on 3, weasel
Plant
our
the
way
seed,
in to going,
Yeah.
and then we act like we don't know it's Cubes League. Okay?
And we get a quick interview. Is that
No interview. It's just like, oh my God. Wow.
Nice.
I'm glad there are no cameras here because I'm real.
We're 3 on 3 for
Right?
life now.
And it's like, ugh. So anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's exciting.
But you think so? You think?
Wow, that was a scope drift.
Yeah.
Anytime Cube comes in your heart, it's
You gotta
you're
say
He's
on
my
the
number
point.
one. He single-handedly wrote the manuscript to West Coast Living.
Oh man.
Wow,
That
did.
gangster rap was the shit.
Yeah,
It's the
he
shit.
did. He did.
That's what I listen to now.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Keeps you motivated.
Ice Cube got that new Funkadelic.
Ice,
That
yeah.
new Funkadelic.
All right, let's
Yeah.
not jinx
Okay.
it.
All
Let's not-
right.
yeah.
Okay. Amazing. So, guys, Texas HempCon this week.
Yep.
We were, we had the first cannabis convention in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Was that the first? Maybe.
I think it was,
It's pretty
not,
big.
definitely not the first. Like they've done little things here and
Yeah.
there, and
Right.
done policy conferences and things like that.
But
But
an
I think
actual
this
hemp
was like
convention.
this is like the biggest
Yeah.
cannabis thing we can do. Let's call
yeah.
it the Texas Hemp Convention. THC, they'll come.
Cute. They came. They did come.
We came.
They came.
I mean, we want to be there. We go to conferences all over, U.S. and internationally, and you know what? This was just another conference, and this was a historic conference. It was definitely the biggest that Texas has ever seen, and y'all were there. Y'all saw how big it was and how excited the people were, and it was just there was this feeling of like, you guys, we're here.
Yep.
Like, weed is coming to Texas. We've got that hemp. Actually, not yet. You're not supposed to grow it yet. Womp wah.
They're hoping so.
Yeah, so we had a conference in Texas, and you can't grow shit.
But
Right.
USDA
Just FYI.
did just approve the Texas hemp regulations the 21st or 22nd. So one step closer.
What? Yes.
Hopefully it's coming. But let's
Yeah.
get back to the HempCon.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's all kind of, it all kind of flows
Intertwined, yeah,
together,
yeah.
right? It's about, it's about business. And really business and, aging. That's the way that our politicians are starting to take notice, because I truly believe that most of them, I mean, they're human beings, most of them,
Most of them.
are humans. And, they want wellness too, but then they're also trying not to lose their jobs.
Right.
And I think most of them are just afraid, which is bullshit. It was bullshit. But, when they get older and their shit stops to work and they, the dementia sets in and things, I think that's when their eyes kind of start to open.
Yeah.
Or, their aging parents, but also commerce, And Texas is a state that is a very rich state. We've got our oil, we've got, lots of industry here. But cannabis could be fucking, like...
Did you get that feeling at the
It could be
conference?
major.
Did you get the
It
feeling
could
that
be.
people in Texas were moving towards it? Did you think it was a good crowd? What were y'all's like kind of gut instincts on that?
Yeah.
Um,
Josh.
There was
Josh.
definitely a big crowd. That was
Yeah.
that was awesome. One of the great things was seeing 5,000 people, in Dallas, Texas, at a hemp convention. That was great. Vendors from all over. I think we're not yet embracing the farming or the agricultural side of it. There was maybe one big equipment distributor there,
Right.
maybe. 90.
Bish. And I did a video.
Did you?
A Kendrick video.
Nice. Bish.
Come up, you
But it was an eclectic mix. There was a lot of people selling smokable hemp flower, which we'll get into in a little bit. But that kind of seemed to be the premise of a lot of the vendors, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
So as a shop owner, there was nothing really new or exciting that you could bring in house to sell.
Right.
But for a lot of people that are really new to this world, I think it made it accessible for for it to be in Texas, so people don't have to travel far to get there.
Yeah. Did you guys see
Yeah.
a lot of farmers there too? Because you said like that's the person we seem to be cutting out of all of us.
I think I talked to one. Yeah, there might have been, a couple others, but there was only one on the floor, and he was great. Military veteran's been growing hemp for 6 years.
Oh wow.
At 8,000 feet in the Colorado Rockies.
Wow.
So he was on his game for sure. But like I said, it was good to see Texas involved in something that the three of us have seen all around the globe. It was exciting for that matter.
Yeah.
I was proud. I was definitely
Yeah.
like happy and impressed with the mix of people. It was all different types, all different walks, and where I thought we were gonna have just like the big all hat, all cattle, kind of tap. I'm here to get some money out of this here new green
Yeah.
market.
I wish there would have been.
I was
more of
kind of
that,
looking
yeah.
for that, like that
Oh my
what's it,
God.
J.R. Ewing or what,
Yeah,
was
yeah.
that his
Yeah.
name? The Dallas Monopoly
From
guy.
that-
We
Yeah.
should have dressed up like characters in Dallas.
Huge hats with big
Big,
leaves.
so
Yeah,
big,
yeah.
yeah.
Next time.
But
Yeah,
I was looking for that tycoon type.
Right.
I stood next to a tycoon type at the bar line at Tone Loke. Okay.
There was a line at the bar?
Oh, I know, crazy, huh? Oh my God, these cannabis conferences are they're coming along, but they're still conferences, right? They're still conferences.
100.
And there's the bar, and people are there waiting because they have their ticket or whatever.
Oil
So-
guy or just dressed the part?
A little lady from Southern Colorado
Lady.
who looked at me and she said, sometimes it feels like I'm selling pickaxes in a gold mine. Tell me more. Tell me more, ma'am. And I'm like, I'm
here.
like 5'7" naturally, and I was wearing heels, and she was little.
Oh, wow.
And so I was like this, and she was like this, and it was awesome. Actually, it was fun. Yeah, she has a farm in Southern Colorado, a pretty massive family farm, and that's what her family's been doing for generations, and they're gonna get into hemp, and they're excited.
They all are, yeah.
And
they
everybody's,
all are.
it's just like, okay, let's do this, It's good for society, Hemp isn't just this money maker. We have to step back and look at it. It's a sacred crop.
Yeah.
It can feed you, it can clothe you, it can shelter you.
Fun fact.
Everybody got you.
Hemp has only been illegal for 1% of its existence.
What?
It's a pretty crazy
Yeah.
fun fact. 1% of
1%.
hemp's existence has it been illegal.
So that's been like 60 years.
Holy
So like 1%, who wants to do the math on that?
Is that globally or just
We're talking
we'll have
about
to look that up.
600,000 years or
Yeah.
something? Or is somebody check my math on that? Fractions.
6,000, 6,000.
think of
Maybe.
how much like
Oh,
soil
yeah.
could have been saved, how much
Or soil.
yeah.
Is that a
You know what I mean?
Freudian
Like
slip?
Yeah.
No, like soil. Like if we could have
Yeah.
just been growing hemp all this time instead of cotton, like
Yeah.
we've
All
got
the
such a
chemicals and- yeah.
top
I know.
soil shortage and
Yeah. So that's
grow
why I'm
hemp.
wearing my Grow Hemp shirt today. It's hemp. It's a hemp and cotton mix.
How does it feel? How
Super
does the-
soft.
how does the-
Amazing. Yes, so good.
do you have any hemp clothing?
And
Not
yeah.
yet. We've been searching. We haven't really found any distributors that are really doing anything at the retail level. If you're asking me personally, no.
I'm putting a flare gun out there in Texas locally. Anyone who's getting into the textiles or thinking about the processing of textiles for hemp, give us a shout.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm very interested in that.
yodel.
You
It's
know,
a huge
Yeah.
infrastructure that doesn't really exist, So all the hemp-based products are
Yeah.
5 times, 10 times their competitors currently.
that
I
was
think the shirt was 35. And that wasn't, so bad. And I certainly want to support it. And also it says
sure.
Grow Hemp. And this is another spelling of, my
the
last
name,
name.
yeah.
But yeah, Cypress Hemp out of Louisiana did this.
Sweet.
I'm going to give them a shout.
You hit the kind of nail on the head about the Texas Hemp Convention and just seeing it. I heard you said that there's just no infrastructure, right? So it was a bunch of people at a conference, sort of at the end of it all, going, "What exactly are we doing here?"
Right.
Yeah.
And that was very special. I don't think
That was
I've ever
more-
felt that.
Yeah.
I hadn't felt that
Yeah.
in Texas just yet.
Right, right.
Yeah, I like that. It's community. It's definitely got a long way to go, but
Oh, it's at its infancy for sure on all levels.
yeah, and it's a great reunion point too, right? We're all just like coming together again.
Normally I
What are you
see you
doing?
not
What are
in
you doing? What are
Texas.
you doing?
Yeah.
It's that's really fun. The community, cannabis
for
community.
sure.
That's what we're all about, man.
It definitely gave me hope that we can certainly do that one day.
Oh.
We can help
Yeah.
provide conferences.
Facilitate,
And,
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
Oh,
truly,
absolutely.
truly impactful educational things. I took a lot of notes, the good, the bad.
Yeah. There was a lot of notes to be had.
Yeah.
For sure.
Definitely. Okay, so what's one thing that you would have done differently, better?
The processing of
No
it.
one's listening. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Here.
I would just say,
Check-in,
the
registration.
check-in. Yeah.
Okay.
You got to make that easy. And
Yeah, they literally had stacks of stickers by, I guess, letter of last name. Within those letters, they were not alphabetized.
Right.
So they were literally thumbing through stickers.
Yikes.
Okay.
Stickers. And I heard, luckily we showed up a few hours late, so we didn't hit the initial onslaught of
No.
people, but I heard it was horrific.
It was harsh.
Yeah, so we show up early.
Of course.
No, I mean, we were covering the event. We were there shooting. We had all our equipment and stuff. So, yeah, dude, I walked to the front, because there was no media check-in. So I walked to VIP and, let them know we're media, we're checking in. He's like, okay, you can get in line. And I was
That's
like,
cute.
honestly, it's like not an ego thing. It's really just a common sense thing. The people who are covering your event, just be really nice to them, and they'll make it even more beautiful, and the edit will be even better. You know what I mean?
Isn't
Like,
it fun editing something with a grudge? Like you're like,
oh yeah,
that's the best.
Yeah.
yeah,
Fuck this edit. Anyways, go ahead.
yeah. I mean, imagine working with your spouse and editing your spouse after
Button heads.
Did you say butt dance?
No, I said butting heads.
Oh,
After butt dance.
after butt dancing.
Hey, no judgment.
No, the fusion, man. That's what makes
Yeah.
that's what makes that spark.
It really does, though, and I also know that you are, such a perfectionist. However you edit me, not perfectionist, but what you edit is fucking great. Yeah. So I can be my normal bitchy self and
I'll just
still
cut out
come
those
out
gonna be great.
looking
Yeah,
I'll
great.
just keep the normal and the
Scale it back.
No, that's where weed comes in to help.
Right.
There, yeah.
everyone's watching an
Helps the
edited
process.
video right now. No, I'm kidding.
No, I mean, it's all trying to make everything, you want to make everything look good.
Right.
Speaking of making things look good, okay? I'm going to just switch gears a little bit. We're already talking about editing and entertainment because that's really, our passion. We have the production company. Josh, you got your own projects and now we're all doing this together. Can we talk about Aaron Hernandez? Because I feel like this conversation will be evergreen, at least, hoping for the next 6 months. I mean,
right.
I think this is a time when Netflix really got it right and is really influencing a conversation that's really important to have right now.
Yeah, this is the Aaron Hernandez
Aaron
documentary
Hernandez thing
on Netflix.
On Netflix. So, Inside the Mind of a Killer, and I know you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
It's a docuseries, and it's just it's done really, really well.
Nice.
And I'll try not to make too many specific references to the actual docuseries because the story is very sad. It's this really, really young man who had great talent and also suffered from a lot of demons and ended up murdering someone and going to jail for that and ultimately murdering a few people. Ultimately hanging himself in prison. And so that's the story, right? And marijuana, we're going to try to use correct terms. The legal term marijuana, THC, this was mentioned throughout the entire docuseries. And in
Imagery
ways
of it
that were very conflicting and very oh my God.
What was the premise? Just his usage?
His
and-
usage, with the lifestyle that he was kind of living outside of everything, and
How it was so countercultural to what was right. And what was right is the NFL, is the American dream.
Prescription? Was he on prescription drugs?
He's on everything. Yes, and that's another thing. certainly he was on everything.
Right.
But they really honed in on the marijuana, and it was all built around the court cases and all the court footage there. And that's the legal term that they use. And it was really conflicting because I'm also looking at it like a member of the mainstream who loves football.
Right.
You know, freaking went to Notre Dame.
Right.
You got to test out. You know, you've got to get CTE before you graduate. Okay, no, but it puts you in the path of people who do very bad things if you are going to the black market to get your medicine. And I believe, you know, that this is medicine across the board, no matter who's using it, no matter how they're using it. If you're using this plant and you're not altering the state by adding other substances to it, you know, that is my realm. And that's what I believe. I'm conflicted. It hurts. He needs this drug. Oh God, poor Aaron Hernandez. Oh fuck, he's a fucking murderer. Straight up. He's not an angel.
So was the premise he was smoking weed and then committing murders? How is
Or
it?
just that they were done all together.
Yeah,
You know,
and the person that he murdered, that he was actually convicted of murdering, they really made a point to tell you that they bonded over weed. This is where they bonded, and
Imagine that.
many times it came up that this guy was Aaron's special blunt roller, you know, and it's also, hey, cannabis community, cannabis culture. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing unhealthy about that. But
you also got to look at the publication bias, right? Who's
Right.
telling the story? Of
course.
Where's the story coming from?
Yeah.
Because that goes for print and video, and I mean even into photojournalism. Who's telling the story? I mean,
Right.
what do they have to gain? Why was the marijuana such a huge premise in this story?
You know, and I think ultimately is because it comes down to this. The last bit of it is about exploring CTE, which is, you know, just impact of brain damage over a
Yes, yes, that's the
sustained
point.
period of impact.
That's the point. We're just talking about.
And so I think that they put cannabis in it a lot because it is a brain injury, and you know, there's a lot of good science with it. So so they were showing this other side of his split personality sort of being.
Yeah, I mean we're on a serious note, but fun fact:
serious.
the government has CBD and THC patented as a neuroprotectant. Right, they've run studies in dogs where they had a placebo. They had they didn't give them cannabinoids, but they gave them a cannabinoid. One of them had a cannabinoid inhibitor, and the other one had a cannabinoid, whatever the opposite is of that pumper. They all had brain damage. Placebo, the brain damaged increased 5%, let's say. Again, you're going to have to fact check this. The cannabis inhibitor increased by 15%, and then the cannabis booster, if you will, decreased by 15%.
Wow.
So when talking about brain damage and brain issues and knowing the government has cannabinoids patented as a neuroprotectant and knowing the results of these studies, again, it adds to the fact of this even shouldn't really be part of the story being told, maybe?
No. And it's, you know, CTE is, whoa, that's the big, oh my God, he had it all along.
Right.
But Jesus fucking Christ, we had to go through 3 long ass episodes seeing pictures of nug, picture of blunt. I'm just like, God damn.
Right.
You know, and another reason why it's important is because he smoked and then, you know, he murdered somebody and then he left the roach there, all of his DNA all over it. I mean, listen, this guy was I'm not trying to be funny here, but he was not right in the head. Literally, he was not right in the head. And, you know, cannabis was a medicine that he used. You know, if I can get through, because there are times where he's just like this golden child.
Right.
And he's beautiful and happy.
And I'm sure he's high on during those processes as well.
Of
course.
Of course.
This is something that was interesting to me too, and was part of that documentary. Is that leading up to his death, where he hung himself in prison, he was smoking K2, which is this synthetic stuff, and it is like it's absolute like it's ruining people.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it is like really, really damaging. And I
Yeah.
don't know
Shitty.
enough about it.
Yeah.
I just know that like it's legal somehow. That's okay. This thing that is
I don't
ruining
think it's
people.
legal in Texas. Some states have it.
Texas is not legal.
I don't believe so. But
So
don't
it's
quote me on
K2.
it.
It's also called spice. It's also called synthetic marijuana, which is what they called it in Aaron Hernandez show
documentary?
which really fucking pissed me off.
So, fun
synthetic
fact.
marijuana.
Fun fact. Dong. Fuck K2. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the fun
Fun
fact.
fact. This is a
so,
fun fact. Fact
fuck that
checked.
shit.
So
That's
I can tell a
fact-checked.
personal story. My son smoked K2 in his senior year in high school. Panic attack to the hospital. I'm fucking dying. They're like, no, you're not. Everything's fine. I'm fucking dying. No, you're not. Everything's fine. Up until this point, 18 years old, no issues of any kind of anxiety. Now panic attacks galore, constant anxiety. Like it just rewired something and changed his outlook on shit. So no
damn.
love
How are
for
you?
K2.
Yeah.
So sorry, Josh.
Yeah, so
Yeah, that's
It
so
fucking
rough.
sucks. You know, it doesn't matter that you're in the wellness industry.
oh no.
Be kids,
Yeah.
and kids do some dumb fucking shit.
And it's accessible, right?
Yeah.
Like at that point, they could
Yeah.
go to the liquor store, corner store, and buy spice. They could go
Right.
to the head shop, buy spice. Again, I don't think you can buy it now in Texas, but it's 100% synthetic, and I don't know enough about it. I've never cared to research and find out what it's actually rewiring or doing, but it's fucking people up.
God
My
damn.
best
Yeah.
friend's sister is an emergency room doctor, and she said that every night, that is like, there's 4 or 5 people in there who've
Really?
smoked spice.
Wow.
Is that not insane?
It's ridiculous. I don't
In
get it.
Texas,
It's
like
it hurts your soul. You're like, why are they smoking spice? Why are people smoking spice? It
yeah.
hurts.
so I'm saying
Just to think about that.
cannabis
do
community,
that.
cannabis world, like fucking don't smoke spice.
No,
No,
spice.
don't.
We're united in that.
Say
Man. No,
no to
and
spice.
also don't call it synthetic marijuana.
Right.
There is nothing to fucking do
Yeah.
with a sacred plant. So stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know a
Straight
lot of
up.
people smoke it when they're on probation or they work in the oil field or for the Union Pacific, place where they
Drug tested.
they cannot.
Oh no! You're telling me that the government is actually forcing people to do dumb shit so that they can get some relief?
Imagine that.
Oof.
I gotta fan myself, dude. That was a hot topic. God damn.
So
it
let's
really
switch
pisses
from
me
that
off.
to smoking hemp.
Yes.
Yeah, the other synthetic
right,
marijuana.
right. So you have hemp, which doesn't have strong THC presence.
Very low THC content.
Okay.
Yeah, little to none. I mean, 0.3. You don't. There is no psychoactive properties to hemp, so they say. But the hemp has become a huge fan favorite for a lot of people who don't necessarily want to be high or
Yeah.
need to be high.
Yeah.
Or maybe they only want to be high at night when they're going to bed and they don't necessarily want to be high in the morning.
Yeah,
But
or
they-
have an allergic reaction to THC.
rare, but we do see it.
Rare,
It's out there.
Allergic, or even just like, dude, I can't smoke weed anymore. We were at
Yeah.
this class this weekend. The man who's co-founded the Trichome Institute is like, for the last 3 years, I haven't really been able to smoke weed, like THC.
Right.
And so he is a hempie. and he's
Yeah,
like,
there's a lot of old
and
school
yeah,
heads
he's like,
that
he's
have
like,
switched
yeah,
over.
that's what I call him.
Hempies. Hempy.
Hempies unite, right?
Yeah, right.
I mean, here's the thing. You said something really funny a couple podcasts ago, because we're on number 3. So I can say
Number
that now.
3.
You said the second stigma about is like
yeah.
hemp and smoking hemp. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Because I think that's important to kind of explore.
I mean, yeah. So the stigma is most marijuana smokers don't need hemp or CBD because they have the real thing, right? The real
Yeah.
thing. Their cousin plants are the same plant. They've just been
Yeah.
crossbred to have different cannabinoid profiles. Smoking hemp actually gives you a lot of the benefits that marijuana gives you. THC, as odd as it is prescribed for or recommended for PTSD, things of that nature. THC actually increases your heart rate and paranoia. Two things that aren't necessarily the best for, let's say, PTSD, for example. Hemp, on the other side, without that euphoria, without the THC, actually gives you the benefits of anti-anxiety and the calming without that increased heart rate or the paranoia. So there's huge advantages. But again, some people are in industries where being high all day, every day isn't an option.
I feel so sorry for them.
But hemp gives you that alternative, to bring you down and bring you to that place where you want to be, where you're comfortable amongst crowds, or the anxiety doesn't kick up. And pain, for example, right? Chronic pains, the fastest means suppositories, the fastest means to your into your bloodstream.
Get in there.
Not everybody is looking to do that. But when you smoke the hemp, through your lungs is the second fastest way into your bloodstream. So instant onset of pain relief or anti-anxiety, things of that nature. My son takes oil every day. Would take breath sprays or a vape pen for that as needed anxiety relief. But now he finds smoking a little hemp is instant and fast and effective.
Good.
So there's huge benefits to not necessarily wanting to get high, but wanting to get healthy.
It's kind of, it all sucks, but it's nice to hear that your son tried something synthetic that hurt him, but now there's something that's natural that's helping.
Right.
What an interesting balance.
Full circle. Weird.
Yeah.
Hey.
Amazing. The circle of life. No, I mean, that's what hemp does, though. It really is just this miracle plant. I'm so excited that we're going to have the first and only processing plant in the U.S. here in Texas.
Yep.
Here it comes.
Yeah.
Here it comes.
And that's for grain and fiber. It is not for oils and CBD products, if you will, which is pretty amazing, because going back to that infrastructure, it doesn't exist in the U.S. Farmers want to grow hemp for rope and hemp for clothing and hemp for other things. That processing isn't readily available.
Right.
So it's
processing in general, probably just the science of all of it is very, very far behind. We got a lot of catching up to do.
Oh yeah.
Billions of dollars worth of catching up.
That's right. That's jobs.
Yeah.
That's Texas jobs. Texas jobs. I don't know where this is coming from, but it feels right.
It does. I think that in just kind of closing out here, the ultimate thing is that Texas is coming online and it feels good. The spirit is there, whether it's a convention or it's in the streets or it's in the farms.
Or in the sheets.
If you're a freak in the sheets or a sheet
or a hempie in the streets.
Or a hempie in the streets. It's coming. And it's here.
It's coming,
and it's awakening. And it feels so good to be riding that wave and riding it right here in New Braunfels, Texas.
It really does.
It's awesome. We have the availability of becoming the largest hemp producing state in the U.S. It's pretty phenomenal.
That's something to brag about.
Grow hemp. Grow hemp.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
That's right. We're still going to grow, marijuana. We're going to grow our THC when it's legal. I'm future projecting here, guys.
Yes.
And those buds are going to be very delicious.
Texas buds, Texas nugs, Texas
Texas nugs.
Can't wait.
So speaking of buds, last thing I did want to touch on this interpening. Interpening. It's we're professional interpeners.
Show the cameras, not us.
Oh, sorry.
Gosh, check it out.
Interpeners, baby.
Interpening.
That's what we do. And what that is the art of... Let me read.
Oh, yeah.
An interpener is versed in the origins and evolution of cannabis and has the ability to determine flower quality and predict the psychotropic effects of any cultivar, regardless of strain, name, or hybridization. Boom.
It is awesome.
It's amazing.
These guys can take...
We're believers. We're in the cult of the Trichome Institute.
It's amazing. They can take a nug.
Right.
And tell you, what it is. probably where it came from, and then they can analyze the terpene
region, or I mean,
Oh yeah,
they're getting so
their-
specific, it's insane.
and that's what they're doing. Like that's the kind of science and the kind of thought that they are applying to cannabis, as a medicine, but also as a consumer product. I buy wine. I will spend, $80 for one bottle of
What?
wine. No. No, I really don't. But listen, this
$3.
dude, this is a really good metaphor. Okay.
Sorry.
You might spend $80 for this bottle that's like, oh my gosh, it's very valuable,
Right.
because it's grown in this region
Scarcity,
by
yeah.
this person, on this exact year, and so that is what he's working to kind of socialize, I think, really with cannabis consumers
Be
and
awesome.
this new cannabis consumer.
Yeah.
And educating practically,
Right.
not fucking.
I mean, there's
using
huge-
colloquialisms from West Coast.
Right.
Versus,
There's huge. I don't know the word I'm searching for here, but there's in comparison to the grapes and the wines, you will never grow the same weed twice on the same plot of soil, no matter what. So
Right.
year to year,
Yeah.
day to day, there's 100 variables, and they all change. So there is some importance to this is 2019's crop from Northern California versus 1984's crop from Southern Florida, or there's validity in all of that.
Right.
So
100%.
it is an awesome outlook.
Yeah, and it's beautiful, right? It attaches more value than just like, oh, I'm going to take this and this is how I feel. But it's, I don't know. That's kind of what stoners are all about,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
expanding your mind, and I think even getting closer to the plant that you're ingesting. And with just, storage technology now, you can,
Oh, yeah.
have a bud. Like we had wedding cake at our wedding. And
What year was it from?
oh, it
Where'd
was
they
from.
grow it? I'm
Yeah,
just kidding,
yeah,
I'm
right,
just kidding.
right. You would ask. Anyway, we don't have it any longer, but wouldn't that be cool
Yeah.
for couples just to have, because you will feel that feeling, and of course it's going to degrade over time,
Right.
but
Light, heat,
No.
oxygen.
yeah.
One thing that's cool too is that he's shifting sort of how we see it,
Right,
or how
right.
we name
That's
it, or
the
how
coolest
or
part.
how we identify
Yeah.
it. So it's
Right.
like the idea of strains, which are this is Chem OG and this is Hollywood Kush and Purple
Right.
Urkel. That's
Yeah.
completely overwhelming and not necessarily like real. It's
Right.
not. The plant itself speaks a very different language.
Right.
Yeah.
So labeling it these ways is
I think it's
a
important.
marketing trick.
No,
and
it-
he's trying to, I think the Trichome Institute is trying to
Yeah, it is.
reverse.
It is a marketing ploy, but there's also vital information there. Like, was this taken from a clone of a clone of a clone? Was this grown from seed? Is this an F1? What pheno? Like, there's different aspects to that flower. How many times have you smoked OG or some strain, and then a year later you're like, oh shit, that's the same shit, let me try it again. You're like, this isn't quite what I was expecting. Yeah.
No, but yeah, and that's, I think, what he's saying is he's trying to just like tease out, hey, this is science.
Right.
Straight
right.
up.
No, 100%.
Science. And let's not fucking start to apply all this marketing bullshit
Right.
to it. Right. And I think that, it's a very fragmented industry because we've been living in the shadows for so long and practicing. And I mean, it's a very large economy still, the black
It's
market.
huge, yeah.
And the legal market is being built on the backs of those, right, who are in the black market. So I do want to give respect there. But I also know that these, men and women who are growing this bud for the black market are also not like the scientists, and that's
They
okay.
are, but they
That-
aren't.
Exactly.
Right,
They're,
right,
no,
right.
they're fucking practical. Hey,
Scientists of their own.
I'm on their
Magnitude.
team.
Plant.
At the end of the day, I'm on y'all's team.
So
I
in
love
Canada,
you.
the black market is called the legacy market. I don't know if we touched on this,
yeah.
but I fucking love it. Like black market, legacy market. These are the OGs, right? These are the
you.
guys that were doing the science without
Yeah.
science books.
Yeah.
Through trial and error,
Right,
years
right.
and years of learning. Like these methodologies were hand down,
Yep.
hippie to hippie to hippie. You didn't go to YouTube and learn how to grow.
No.
Like you knew somebody and they taught
Right.
you what you needed to know.
Right.
And
but
they have their
without-
way of saying it, right?
Right.
And on the other side of town, or on the other side of the county, they had their way of saying
Right,
it and calling
right.
it. And so that's what's confusing, though. That's actually, it works against the industry because consumers are fucking confused.
Right.
You go into a dispensary, what am I going to get today?
Yeah.
You're excited,
think
I know I'm going to get
90
weed. Now I know what I'm going to get.
90% of what you buy from the dispensary is the bud tender suggestion.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
what's the best of the best of the best of the best?
know.
Oh, we
we've
got
been smoking
this.
this. Oh, man.
This is the one you want.
Try
Yeah.
that, dude. There you go. Try that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like, okay.
And they're getting kickbacks. Let's be transparent, right? Like somebody's coming in. Here's an ounce for you and your friends. Maybe sell a
course,
couple more of my
Right.
jars or what have you. But
Of course. They're like pharmaceutical sales reps.
right, 100%.
It's not their fault. Somebody has to sell it. But, it's incumbent upon us as a consumer and the medicator to know what we're smoking.
Right.
And we all are we've got this thirst for knowledge. This fucking interpening.
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 I love the fucking name. Like,
Yeah, dude.
it
Interpreter.
makes you want to
Yeah.
dive into
We look
it.
forward to
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
There's essentially 3 stages.
Oh, sweet.
And so we're in stage 1 now, and I think we'll go all the way.
You'll graduate.
Oh, you know it. Can I graduate?
Hell yeah.
Another lovely day here in Central Texas.
beautiful.
With you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you, Green
Thank you.
Records.
Power.
Thank you, everybody. Cheers.
Thank you.